Hello peeps, I just thought I'd give a little quick rundown on what I've been up to in the camper van. I've been filling holes in the roof. You can see I've got this hole there. I can't zoom out any further, I can zoom in. And what I've done is I've filled some of them. That one, you can see that there. You can see the outline of that there. And there's a little hole in the middle I've got to fill. Most of this will be covered with a roof covering anyway. There's another one there I've filled. I just thought I'd give you a quick rundown of how I did it. So I'm going to switch off for a sec, stick you on the tripod, which is there, and show you what I did. Back in a sec. Right, so basically what I did was, for the holes in the roof, the smaller holes, which are where the puck lights were in the roof, I used one of these. It's a hole saw. Goes on the end of your drill, drill it in, little pilot drill in the middle, and all it does, it cuts out a nice little disc like this. You just pop that out of there after you've finished, and that's basically what I've put in the roof for the two smaller holes. And then what I did was, where the pilot hole is in the middle, I put a very thin bolt through it, did a nut up on the other side, fixed it in the drill, spun it up, and then sanded the edge until it was the right fit for the roof. The glue I used, I don't think I've got this, I haven't here. The glue I used is good old Gorilla Glue. It expands slightly to fill the holes, so I've literally just smeared a little dribble all around the edge, placed it up into the roof, and then screwed through the centre. Good bit of glue on the back, glue all around the edge, and then what I've done in the holes up in the roof, if I've got an insert, if I've got a clip, I will insert it now to show you what I did up in the roof. Up is to fill the two speaker holes. As you can see there, I've put a strap across that one already. I've just got to cut out the hole. I haven't got a hole saw the right size to cut that out, so I'm going to have to cut that out with a jigsaw. Then finish it off with some sandpaper, and I'll put some glue around the edge, glue across that, screw it to that, let it go, set off, and then take the screws out and trim it back. And I basically just screwed this up through that centre hole, let the glue go off. And as you've seen from the roof of this glue, it expands slightly and just fills in the hole. So it doesn't matter if you've made this slightly too small. It doesn't have to be a tight fit, because you're going to be screwing it up to the cross support on the hole. So that's how I made those holes. For the larger holes, as you can see over there with my creaky, for the larger holes, which are where the speakers were up in the ceiling, these ones here, I didn't have a hole saw big enough. They're quite unwieldy when they get to that size. I mean, this size is, you know, it's a big enough chunk to be spinning about on the end of your drill. They can get a bit too hefty. So I got myself one of these, a hole cutter from Aldi. I believe it was £7.99. Even more terrifying, spinning up at speed. But I simply put these legs up to the holes in the ceiling. What you do is you undo these three bolts, and then as you spin this red collar, these all move in and out in unison. And I set this to just slightly bigger than the hole in the ceiling. Cut out the hole there, you can see, just simply goes in your drill, spins up, scary as you want. Cut the hole out, use the centre hole exactly the same way again, put a bolt through it with a nut on the back, spun it up in the drill, sanded it till it fitted in the roof, covered it in a bit of Gorilla Glue, and you end up with what you see up on the roof, which is, see if I can get a picture of it without too much light. Can you see that? You can just about see the expanding glue, which is the Gorilla Glue, where it expands. It's like expanding foam, only it doesn't expand quite as far. Expanding foam, originally we just called it builder's glue, because you used it for sticking, well, insulation to walls and stuff like that. If you don't give it a chance to get to oxygen and expand, it will just sit as a glue. So all Gorilla Glue is just expanding foam. But that's how the patch looks once it's in. Then once the glue's finished expanding, I'd simply got a Stanley knife, trimmed off the excess as it stuck down, and I will then fill that hole in, and these holes around the edge where the speakers originally screwed up to. Eventually I will fill those in with a bit of fiberglass bodywork filler from a car, and that'll be the roof, hopefully finished. I've got one larger hole to fill, which is the one I filmed first of all, which is that one. I haven't got a hole saw big enough for that, and to be honest, I'm not going to go out and buy a special hole saw. That one there, you can see, doesn't go big enough to make that hole, so I'll simply measure that hole, draw it out with a compass. I've already been down to the Tesco's back to school and bought myself a compass. I haven't done that for years, and I shall cut it out with a jigsaw, which will mean it'll be rough as guts. So then I'll do the same thing. I'll drill a hole in the middle, I'll spin it up in my drill using a nut and bolt and sand the edges till it fits. And what I'll do is, before I finally fit it, across, you see there's a hole there where this is where two spotlights were. There's a hole there and a hole there. All I will do is I'll screw in a piece of plastic across there, and then when the patch goes up, I'll just screw it in through the middle. Then I'll run tape around the edge to let it dry and keep it from sagging down, and then when it's dry, literally again trim up around the edges. As you can see on that hole there, just trim up around the edges, give it a bit of a sand down, and you've got yourself a nice patch in the roof. These embassies are full of holes anyway, but the bigger ones you could do with getting rid of. And the whole ceiling's going to be covered in 2mm padded vinyl anyway. I've decided I'm going to use, it's called table covering, a table protector, and it's like a 2mm thick padded vinyl leatherette. So anyway, that's where the roof stands at the moment. I haven't really got much done. I've got the obviously I've got the lighting sorted out. I've got the solar up on the roof, which I'll do in a different video. The electrics are sort of installed. I've got USB ports galore around the van. I've got 2 USB ports there. I've got another USB port down there. I've got 12-volt port up there. This is the original ambulance port. That's from a TV. I've got the 240 below it. Up here, when Amazon finish off delivering my delivery, I'll have 4 USB ports up here, 2 each side by side. I'll have a little shelf going across there where I can put my phone and stuff to charge. Mainly they're there for the Now TV box and my PlayStation Classic. But that's where we are. Like I said, just a brief update on what I've been up to on the ceiling. I think, as I said before, this was $7.99 from Aldi. Pretty good investment. It does a good job. It's a bit scary when it's spinning up at fast speed on your drill, but you know, it does a good job, and it will go as small as one of these traditional hole cutters. But you can also make it bigger. So instead of having like 10 of these in every size you want, this one goes from 120mm down to 45mm. For cutting. So I think this is a 50 or a 60mm, something like that. I don't know. I just picked one out. I've got a box of them. I just picked it out, see what size I needed, and then went with that. So that's where we are. That's where the ceiling is. It's still not finished, but I'm only getting a couple of hours a day at the moment. You know, life gets in the way, etc., etc. And that's where we are, peeps. When I've done some more actual work, I'll make a video and shout about it and tell you how great I am. Anyway, that's it for now, peeps, and I'll talk to you later.